Welcome to this training on unshakable peace through meditation. I'm your host, Reverend Erin-Ashley, and I'm the founder of Spiritual Mechanic at spiritualmechanic.com. So what you're going to learn in this training video, how I use meditation to create unshakable peace within myself, the 3 types of meditations that I use and how I use them, and the trick to finding the right meditation for you. So first, what do I mean by unshakable peace? First, let's be very, very clear here. I still have the full range of human emotions. I still experience limiting beliefs here and there. I have petty annoyances and problems like every other person on the planet. What I mean by unshakable peace is when all of these things come up, I'm still connected to that deeper presence within myself where I know that these things are arising within my consciousness. They do not dominate my consciousness. So if I experience grief, for instance, or anxiety, I still have a connection to peace. I can feel the anxiety, I can feel the stress or whatever is coming up for me without feeling like that defines me in any way, shape, or form. It's an experience that I have. It's not something that dominates my experience. I hope that makes sense. So how I use meditation. I use it in 5 different ways. There's 5 specific outcomes that I'm looking for whenever I go into a meditation session. Sometimes I prefer to release old baggage, old belief systems, old emotions that are their emotional patterns that I just want to release and let go of, or something that has happened recently and I want to prevent it from becoming old baggage, right? It's new baggage, don't want it to solidify. I use meditation to release it. I also use meditation to feel pent up or buried emotions throughout the day and throughout our lives. We are often taught, especially in Western civilization, that we're not supposed to have the full range of human emotions. And so we tend to bury those that are not socially acceptable. And so this allows me to feel any that got accidentally buried or unhelpfully expressed throughout my life. And then I also use it to tune into my heart's true desires. So this is where I'm tuning in for what is true for me. And I also use it to communicate with my spiritual team. So my spirit guides, my higher self, etc. I use meditation to communicate with them and to see what my next steps are. And whenever I know what I wish to create and whenever I know what my heart's desires are, then I use meditation to amplify the signals that I'm sending and activate those vibrations so that I can receive what I'm asking for with more ease, with fewer complications, and of course, unshakable peace. So the 3 types of meditations that I prefer. First off, let's be real here. These are not the only types of meditations out there. I'm just showing you the 3 types that I tend to use the most, that I get the most benefit from. White light and love meditation. I really like this for releasing, feeling, and amplifying. So if I have old forgiveness wounds that I want to release, if I have feelings that got pent up, or if I really have a lot of clarity on what I wish to create, then I use a white light or love meditation to release and feel and amplify what I want, right? Entrainment. This is a meditation that uses audio technology to assist you in specific brainwave states. I use entrainment meditation for communicating with my guides and releasing. It really depends on what your main focus is. Entrainment is really good if you have a lot of scattered attention at the moment. It's really good for bringing that back in, and it kind of does the work for you. This has some positive and some negative. If you go for a meditation that does the work for you, then you absolutely can communicate and release with more ease. However, you can miss some nuance. So entrainment is really good for the distracted days or whenever I'm got into overwhelm, right? And it brings me back. And last but not least is no mind. This is really good for releasing, feeling, and tuning into. So releasing old stuff, especially stress and thought patterns from the day, either before or after a work day, and then feeling. So if there's pent up emotions, as soon as you do a no mind, they tend to come up to be released. And the more you release, what happens is you will naturally tune into what is true for you. The no mind allows you to release all that is not of your spirit, and all that's left is the presence of who you are. And then that allows you to naturally tune into your heart's desires. So here's a quick little tutorial on how to do a white light meditation. By the way, at the end of this video, there will be a link and you can click it to go directly to the YouTube video with a white light meditation in it. So this is one you'll just click and play, right? So I do recommend before you start a white light meditation, you want to choose a visual symbol of you or the person that you wish to release about or whatever your heart truly desires. Then you want to prepare your meditative space. Make sure you can fully relax and feel safe and secure while you do this meditation. Set aside at least 10 minutes or more for your meditation if you're doing it on your own. The YouTube video will have the exact time, so make sure as best you can you have that amount of time. Then you want to focus on your breath for the first few minutes. Allow yourself to relax as best as possible. This is an important step. If you start diving into the love too soon, or the white light energy, then your body hasn't fully relaxed and you tend to not get quite as much out of it. Now, there's nothing wrong. Some people dive right in. In my experience, I find it for me and my clients to be a bit slower. So give yourself permission to really relax for the first 3 to 5 minutes before you start the white light in love portion of the meditation. Then you want to imagine the symbol of your heart's desire or whatever it is that you are focusing on. If it's a releasing focused meditation, then the person you're forgiving, etc. Then you want to surround it by white light, or if you're more of a feeling person, send it love energy. Whenever you notice, now if you're doing this right, oftentimes negative beliefs and negative feelings might come up. So whenever that happens, just do a quick check. Is it fleeting? If it lasts less than a few seconds, then keep your focus on the symbol. And if it is lasting more than a few seconds, then bring that white light to you. Bring it to your energy and give yourself that same white light and love energy. Once they pass, once you feel that white light and love energy within you, and you feel it's appropriate to send that white light once again back to your heart's desire or whatever your symbol is. Continue this back and forth until you feel complete. Next, how to do an entrainment meditation. So let's talk about the entrainment brainwave states. So the highest is the beta state. This is your normal waking consciousness, if you will. And if it goes too high, then that's when you get into anxiety. So in general, you don't want to use a beta entrainment meditation because that's not really going to assist you. You will want to have an alpha, theta, or delta. Alpha is really good for visualization and communicating with your guides. Now, depending on your particular brain waves, theta might be a good fit too. It's a little bit slower than the alpha, and it slows the brain down. And that can be a really good one if you if it works well for you. I find that alpha works the best for me, but it does depend on the individual. I recommend trying the alpha first, then going to theta if the alpha feels like you're not quite getting what you want. So I use that for communication with my guides and with the universe whenever I am looking for a natural and easy way to tune in whenever I'm feeling hectic myself. Next, the delta or theta entrainment meditation is really good for release. Delta is the lowest state. This is whenever you're in the deepest states of sleep, of REM, you're in the delta state. It's very healing, and it also helps you release a lot. So delta is really good for releasing. And theta is one of those that it just depends on the individual. For me, theta works better for releasing the communication, but try whatever resonates with you and see what happens. And you can either search the YouTube channels, or you can use one of the meditations in the meditation bundle that I have for sale. If you have that, then you have access to all of these, right? If you don't, you can still get it for free on YouTube. And there's a link somewhere on the screen. Feel free to click it if you want to check out more about the meditation bundle. Then once you have the meditations, you put your headphones in, you relax, and you let the audio technology do the work. How to do a no-mind meditation. This is very simple. You find a comfortable spot. You set a timer if you want to. I do recommend at least 5 minutes, but do whatever's appropriate for you. If you've never meditated before, or if you really have a hard time sitting still, then choose a time that you feel comfortable with. Even if it's just 1 or 2 minutes, that's still enough to get some benefit from it. I do recommend at least 5 minutes because you will feel a significant change with 5 minutes or more. Relax as best you can, and then you want to do a count while you follow the breath. Now, this is just to give your mind a little bit of direction while you relax deep into your conscious awareness. So a 4 count or an 8 count is appropriate. And so a 4 count is you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, you breathe out for a count of 4, and then you hold it again for a count of 4. And then it's the same thing with the 8 count, only instead of counting for 4 beats, you count for 8 beats. Now, this will depend on your own personal pace. If you are a fast counter, you definitely want to go with 8. And if you're a slow counter, you definitely want to go with 4, but play with it. An 8 count really helps you slow down and focus, and a 4 count is really good if you're a bit in the beginner category. But don't push yourself. Whatever feels most appropriate, go ahead and do that. You want to continue until the timer goes off. I do recommend you set a timer if you can, just so that you can get the most out of this and you can continue to focus on your breath without thinking about how much time has or hasn't gone by. Now, just a note about the timer. I do recommend a gentle chime for your timer on your phone or whatever you use. I don't recommend one of the alarming sounds from, for instance, an egg timer or anything like that, because it can startle the body whenever you're coming out of it. And it's hard to continue feeling relaxed if you have that adrenaline going. Okay. So that's how you do a no-mind meditation. And there's really no trick to finding the right meditation for you. What I do recommend is playing with them all and see what works best for you. Everyone is different. Some people take to one of the 3 types very easily. Some people take to a completely different type, and that works well for them. And some people, no matter how many times they try a different meditation, it's just not their jam. What works best for them is a jog or a walk in nature or reading or whatever else helps them connect with the presence of who they are. So whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. It's safe to explore all of these different possibilities, and you are not more or less spiritual or more or less awesome, regardless of what you discover about yourself and your meditation journey. So I hope that helps. And go ahead and click the little thank you for joining, and it will take you directly to the white light meditation. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.